The reopening measures are slowly taking place amid the coronavirus pandemic. Malls and restaurants are working again, and factories move more and more of their personnel back into the offices. However, that doesn't mean that people won't get sick anymore. On the contrary, there are now many more chances of spreading the virus even farther. To protect the employees and clients of your business, we developed thermocontrol screening stations. It is a quick and safe solution. Thermocontrol measures temperature at a distance of 25 centimeters. The device is autonomous. It does not require an additional employee to conduct temperature measurements or log the results. It can measure and even recognize masked faces. All of the results are logged automatically and stored in the database. You can use the station to ensure your clients and employees access to your building automatically.
John Smith Robot.
The station can issue entrance passes and grant access to the building after it measured the person's temperature. If the visitor's temperature is high, a notification will be sent and a potential carrier of the virus can't access the building. Thermocontrol can send SMS and messenger notifications, as well as notifications over email. Temperature measurement technologies allow businesses to ensure the safety of people and potentially save lives all over the world.
All right, folks, good afternoon, and it is that time of the week. Welcome to the Marketplace Reset and JumpStart TV. I'm Anthony Weeks, your host. Happy New Year. I hope your 2021 year has pretty much started off on a good foot. Things are going well in light of all the other events that's taking place around us. I hope you had a great holiday weekend. We are celebrating Three Kings Day here in the territory in the U.S. Virgin Islands, as well as Puerto Rico, and I guess throughout the different parts of the country and throughout the world where Three Kings is acknowledged as well. And so today we want to be able to say that while we are unable traditionally to get together for our carnival and our festival, today I guess we usually have the children's parade and the adults parade, but we can't do that because of the COVID-19. And so today we are going to have a special look back of one of the coverage that we did for one of the parades, just as a way to, kind of remind folks that even though we can't get together, we can still enjoy what we've done in the past year. We're broadcasting live on WSDX 970 AM. We're broadcasting live on the Callaloo Network. We're broadcasting live across social media, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and others. And we're also broadcasting live on our Latin Hispanic partner station, La Mega Mundial, and then we rebroadcast on Tempo Television. I'm going to bring in my colleague, Linda and Carolyn, who are basically the hosts for the first segment. Hi, Carolyn. Hi, Linda.
How are you?
Hi.
How are you doing?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We are.
So how's it going?
It's going well.
It's terrific.
Yeah. That's fantastic. That's a nice scarf you're wearing. That's pretty colorful there. You're still in that festive mode, I see, huh?
This scarf you would not believe is from Euro Disney in 1990. We won't tell you the year because then I'll date myself. I participate in the grand opening of Euro Disney. Fabulous, amazing memories. And this is one of their signature scarves for those
Beautiful.
special guests. I'll just say, I won't tell you how I got there, but suffice to say.
And when you say Euro Disney, you're talking about Europe, correct?
I'm talking about the one in Paris. The one
Yes.
in Paris.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, Paris. Huh?
Well, outside of Paris, you take the train and you go and you're in the cornfields and you're in and all of a sudden you come over this amazing vista and you see Cinderella's ornate Parisian castle. And you're like, wow, we have arrived at Disney, Euro Disney. So this was given to those guests and thank you.
Fantastic.
Wonderful. It's beautiful.
And of course, Karen, you always look quite lovely yourself. Miss Fashionista, of course, with all your beautiful.
Fashionista right there. She sets the trend.
So, ladies, how's your week going? And I'm looking forward to what we're going to be discussing today. So, talk to me.
We are really excited to have Candace Camille with us today. She is known internationally as the wellologist. So the idea of wellness and fitness and all of the things around that, you're like, right about now, COVID has taken its toll on us in a lot of different ways, financially, maybe mentally, but a lot of us aren't moving around like we need to. So to have someone come to us with wellness strategies that we can implement in terms of physical fitness, we thought she would be an excellent choice.
Fantastic. So let's bring her in. Let's say hello to
Great.
Candace.
Hi, Candace.
Hi, Candace.
Yeah, Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New
you.
Year.
To you.
Happy
What
New
a
Year.
beautiful smile you have to start us off
Thank
as our
you.
first guest of the new year.
Oh, that's right. That's
really
right.
true.
Our first actually.
So
Look
this
at
is
that.
your way
Excited
to
to be on here. Are you kidding?
Thank you for that, Linda. That hallmarks our first 2021 guest for the Marketplace Reset and JumpStart TV. Candace,
Isn't it
welcome.
Good thought, Linda.
Thank
so
you.
Candace-
Thank you for having me here. I'm super excited, always excited, especially in my line of work around this time of the year. Simply from being a wellologist, like because everybody's ramped up, they're ready to start a revolution based on their change in their New Year's resolutions. But I always say I'm the solution to everybody's New Year's resolution. So as we move forward and what we need to do. So I'm super excited whenever I get a chance that I can talk about just getting well, because that's what we need, especially during this time.
Exactly.
And we're just showing you, Candace, something as a tradition for just to let listeners and viewers know, we take notes on our Orange Wall Enterprises
The
notebooks.
orange book.
I'm going to need one of those. Wait a minute. I got my eye.
Carolyn has the
I will
secret
get
place
one to
get
you.
them.
I will get one to. I'll meet you on the trail, and I will get one to you. Absolutely. You know, it's interesting. Orange is a color. They say it's a good color to have during difficult times. It's inspiring, and it brings out all of those wonderful things that we want. So we are all about positive things and positive ways of looking at our health. And I love the fact that you are called the wellologist. When you coined that phrase and started to use it and apply it to yourself, it fits so well, because you've had quite a journey to fitness to bring you to where you are today. Can you tell us just a little bit of
before you continue, and before I go back studio?
Okay.
What just came across the newswire? Congress has certified the Electoral College vote. So that has been a big, big question mark. And I think it's people who have been sitting on pins and needles and wondering what's going to happen there. I guess Georgia is now completely blue, and the Congress has now certified Joe Biden as president-elect.
And let's
And
just
come out
give
Camille
us
out
up for something vital and fundamental to the United States of America, and that is our United States Constitution. Without the driving force of those documents and the tenets and the words on those papers, that artifact, we would have anarchy. So I never had a doubt that those who can appreciate that type of the integrity of the document that drives us and keeps this country future forward looking, this is just that's a plus as a history lesson and a political science debate at some other point in time as to why we have elected officials who had such a different view. So we hope that the wellologists will help them.
And just to continue to commend the women, it appears that 2021 is going to continue to be the year of the women, because if the results in Georgia turns out to be what we think it is, the Senate will be 50-50, and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will be the tiebreaker, and she will then determine the majority in the Congress. Isn't that something, ladies?
It just brings tears to my eyes, not just because of the historic opportunity for women to shine and to show leadership, but to meet with other women around the world who have been in leadership, from prime ministers and emperors and presidents and in secondary positions of leadership around the world. So now we have caught up, and we can show that level of might. So Anyway, I'm
and
going to get off
and
my
the
bandwagon
wellness
here because
discussion
I can
is
go
going
on
to
to
be
this can become a
perfect.
political show if you ask me to.
No, 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 not at all. No, no, no.
That's a different segment.
The wellness discussion is so appropriate because, you know, it says that our Constitution, our democracy, the system is working and all should be well going forward. And so today's discussion and our guest, contributing guest and her expert on wellness is quite appropriate and quite welcoming. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
So ladies, I'm gonna let you do your thing. I'm gonna go back studio and I'll enjoy the conversation with you guys. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you, Anthony. Okay, Candace, and I'm sorry, we got you mid-sentence, but he had historic news to bring.
No, that's historic. Listen, and that gets me, you know, totally excited. Not only for the whole political process, but just based on what he said, the year of the woman, because really it's women that run the households. It's women that really is in charge of our well-being. So when you're talking about from yourself to your family and to all of it, and I believe President Obama said it best when he simply says, when women are well, we are well. So that means the world is well. So right now we're in a state where now we really, really have the power when you're talking about movement as to what really needs to be done in the well-being. Because, you know, for me, I can simply say you cannot master anything until you master your body. So if your body is out of order based on what you're doing, eventually you're going to be out of order. So right now, for all the work that we have to do, it is time to really, really master your body. You know, we're consistently as entrepreneurs trying to work, but you can't master your business if you can't master self-discipline. Because all the money that you think you're making now, if you're not mastering self-discipline in your own health and well-being, you're going to use all of that money to try to get well.
Wow, that's
one. Yeah, so basically with my story, same thing. Just a little synopsis. I'm a cancer conqueror. So I kicked cancer behind almost 3 decades ago, but I learned the hard way. So I'm here so you don't have to learn the hard way, that when these things come at you, they will come if you're out of order. So when they come at you, you have your armor and you have what you need in order to head it off, because it doesn't necessarily mean we're not going to get sick, because I've gotten sick even as the wellologist. But because of my practices that I've done over the last 30 years, made my recovery like that. So that's the best thing about it. So from heart disease to, you know, hypertension to some of the things that I've had a stroke in the last 10 years. So, and I can still sit here and tell you about it because stress is real. But when you have these things that part of your practice, your habits every single day, you can fight all of that stuff off, especially now during this pandemic.
Wow.
So I love the word that you used, and because that lets people know that it's something that you're not going to do one event in your life. It's not going to be overnight. And as a matter of fact, it's going to give you the ability to build the strength to get to an automatic habit. And that was the word practice. That we practice. That's why, you know, interestingly enough, it kind of just reminded me, the doctors say they have a practice. And, you know, you're a part of their practice. It's kind of fascinating to me. So how did you, beyond, you know, surviving cancer, which 30 some odd years ago, that is phenomenal. You are so beautiful. I have to just acknowledge.
She is. She is. And I'm just going to put it out there.
I don't know what, but before we leave, let's make sure we get emails and telephone and websites for our listeners and our viewers to contact you, because we often make a whole laundry list of resolutions. And because it's not a practice, it never gets to the point of a habit and a changed behavior. Of course, we know, we've read a million gagillion things on that. How do we begin? What should we do? What are some of the tools and tips?
You got to make up your mind. So first, let me just explain, like for me as a wellologist, I don't sugarcoat anything, because I just don't think that you can add sugar on BS and call it a cupcake. So I don't sugarcoat anything based on what you need to do. First of all, you just got to make up your mind. So that's number one. If you have a challenge that you're dealing with or something that you really want, and to start to create the habit, you have to make up your mind and then ask yourself, why do I need this new habit? Why is it important to me? And then you proceed from there. But once you make up your mind, then you got to create the plan. And then you have to work the plan. I often say, like, when you hear me talk about practices, I literally come with the power of the P. So if you guys will allow me, I come here to pee all over you today. So basically what that is that once you change your perception, take note of the P's. Once you change your perception, so when you change your mind, and then you change your perspective, because when you change your mind, you see things differently. In order to start these practices that you're talking about and these habits, first you must get prepared. So how are you preparing to change? Because transformation is not a one and done. It's a series of changes. So how are you going to prepare for your change? What does it have to do? First of all, you got to know what you have to do. Do you have to drink more water? Do you have to eat better? Do you have to move better? Do you have to sleep better? See, because there you go. See, that is the formula for being well. So if you ask me, Candace, what do I have to do? I would simply say, Linda, Carolyn, listen, tell me how you sleeping. That's number one. When I'm interviewing my clients, tell me how you sleeping. I want to know, and I want some truth. Don't come here. I need the truth, because nothing changes until you own your truth. Own your truth. Make a decision. How you sleeping? Next question. For all everybody that's listening, how much water are you drinking? How can you say you don't like water, and more of you are water than anything? So you're basically saying you don't like yourself, right? So how much water are you drinking?
Mm-hmm.
Food. How is your nutrition? Is it you're eating a rainbow, or do you have a white and beige diet? If you have a white and beige diet, it ain't right. If you're not eating colorful foods, you're doing damage to your organs. If you're eating a lot of processed foods, you're doing damage to your organs. And it's the organs that really tell us about our age. I can simply say I'm a 60 plus years old, but Dr. Oz said my organs was 38, so I'm hanging on to that.
I know. I
Hey,
remember
I love
that. I
Carolyn has this
remember
wonderful
that.
statement that we just love. She say, "Hey, girl, hey."
Hey,
And
girl, hey. I know, and that's it, Candace, when you said that, because people look at you and they go, oh, she is such a cute young thing. And yeah, you got young organs and you got a great young looking face. And it's because of all of the things that you do. So as you're making this list for us, I love you just told us to eat the rainbow. Eat the rainbow.
eat the rainbow.
Color.
If it's white and beige, it is not good.
If it's
But
white,
I
it ain't
like
right,
this
y'all.
statement.
Tell it right
Candace,
now.
I really like this statement because I think this one goes all the way up to the very beginning, and that is to own your truth. What can you face with either support from mental health counselors, or you can face it in your journal, or you can face it to your friends, but you got to come to some place of facing, because that's the starting line, correct? Is that? And then once
number one.
That's number one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Face your truth without any self-judgment.
Then make a decision. Yeah.
Make a decision.
Like, own your truth, and then know what it is that you want to change, because a lot of times we want to change a lot of things. So then we wind up changing nothing, right?
Wow.
So you got to one thing at a time as you change. So when I was going through my journey, my change was I wanted to move. So I was debilitated. So I fell on the floor and I started crawling. So that was my movement. So I stayed there. I stayed there until I was able to get to my next. So that's where the plan comes in, that you have to follow your plan to the letter of the law. So when I fell, it's like, okay, I just want to crawl to the bathroom. So once I accomplished that, and then I went to the next, I was like, okay, so now I can crawl to the bathroom. In order to get up and walk, I'm gonna have to eat better, right? So I'm gonna have to get some better foods, where I've been laying in this bed for a long time. So I gotta get my strength up. So I know I gotta eat better. So that was my next. So I went from moving well to eating well and hydrating well, in order to get to where I wanted to be, because the only thing I wanted to do was to get up out of the bed and move on my own. That was my only objective. So you got to figure out what is your objective as you move into whatever it is you want, even if it's to lose 10 pounds or 20 pounds. Your objectives, okay, is 20 pounds. That's my objective here, my goal. Now I got my plan, how I'm going to get there. How am I changing my food? How am I sleeping? Because all of that has a lot to do with it. How am I drinking water? How am I moving? That's it, because and most folks would say it's the mind, right? But let me just be very, very clear. Your mind is changed when you eat right. Your mind is changed when you sleep well. Your mind is changed when you move well. All of that has such a difference in your mind. So movement is my jam. It is so powerful that it is beyond. It is like beyond power as to what it will do for you. And so often we hear that I'm too tired, I'm too old, I'm too fat. I done heard every excuse in the book. Get out of the excuse bag, because I'm telling you right now, if you don't find your thing in terms of movement, you're not gonna like your thing when you get 70 years old. So you have to.
Can I just share with you as you continue your list? I love that, because these are really doables that are not that difficult. As a matter of fact, they're not difficult at all, because you've said you started out by crawling and then you had an objective to get to the bathroom or get out of the bed. And to do that, I can relate, having broken my ankle. And the only thing I wanted to do was to just be able to be on my tippy toe for the therapist. That was the hardest thing. I had never imagined learning to walk all over again. So I focus even to this day, 10 years later, on the marvel of walking. And so one of the things that you mentioned that I thought would be really important back then, and I'm going to you just inspired me in this moment to do it again. I actually gave myself and wrote, as I achieved my milestones in my physical therapy, I put next to it what I was going to reward myself with. And I had big and small things. At one point, I actually bought online in one day, I bought an entire bedroom set from Haverty's. I bought books, pillows, and groceries. And I just thought that was the coolest thing, that I could buy all of that. But those things, because I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't drive. I had to hire a car to take me anywhere I needed to go, including my clients. And so I think it's important that people also reward themselves when they hit that milestone, to remind themselves that they are achieving something really great and amazing.
So reward and celebrate.
Reward and celebrate.
And I love that. So Candace, the big thing that we hear from lots of people is, I don't have time. But you started a movement years ago called Got a Minute. Can you tell us what that's like? What does that mean?
Well, as an entrepreneur, that's what you hear. You hear, I don't have time. That's the biggest thing. And I wanted to come up with something that I can literally give to them, as to say that you have time for this, because there's 1,440 minutes in a day. You got a minute. That's only 60 seconds. Come on now. 1,440 minutes, 84,200 seconds. Are you here to tell me that you don't have 60 seconds for yourself? Like, you can't do this planking. So like, all you have to do is get on the floor. You can plank anywhere. You can plank anything. You can plank in a broken foot and a broken toe. I just broke my foot in 3 places, Linda, in September, and I'm back running again. So
exactly,
at the end of the day, when you do this, you're able, I'm running again. I'm on my bike. Practice. So you got a minute to do something.
So you mentioned.
So rise up. So planking is one of those things that you touch. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, keep going. We can
Linda,
hear you.
did you say something?
We were waiting for you to get to the planking.
So planking is one of those things that touches 6 muscles, right? I got these sexy shoulders from planking, right? So it touches your shoulders, your chest, your bicep, your core, as long as your glutes and your hamstring. So you got 6 muscles at one time. And all you have to do is hold your body weight up. All you have to do is get down on the floor or on the wall if you can't get on the floor, because there's modifications. If you go to Plank Talk Nation on Facebook, you'll see all the modifications that you can do to get up, but to hold yourself up for 1 minute. So can we all do that? We can work our way up to it. When I first started planking, I can only plank for 15 seconds before my body starts shaking like a bowl of jello, right? But as of today, I can plank for just about 4 hours, a little under 4
That's
hours.
what I was saying. I watched your journey. I watched your journey when you created Plank Talk Nation.
5
I
years.
watched you do that. That's been 5 years.
5
Because I
years.
remember it was day 1, and then you were like day 100, and then it was day 800. I was like, "Are you kidding me? You're still planking?"
Yes.
And then you created this nation, this movement around planking.
And was that a particular exercise that you was that born out of, as an example, you're crawling because that's where you were on the floor, or you just
Well,
read
I
about
related it back to that. Yes, I related it back to that was another thing. But to tell you how the Plank Talk Nation got started, to sum it up, during the holidays, because my husband had passed away, the holidays, I'm very sad. I was so stressed out. I couldn't get out of bed. I barely brushed my teeth, washed up, did anything. That's how bad it had gotten for me. And at the moment, I'm like, God, you got to get me out of here. What can I do? And through my meditation and prayer, God told me to get up, right? So I get up, I'm thinking God says, get on the floor and you're on your knees and pray. And then I hear again, just lay down through my meditation, lay down. So I'm laying on the floor. So I'm arguing with God at the minute. You told me to get up on my knees. Now you want me to lay down. Now you want me to rise up. Like, what the hell? That's exactly what I said. And but what
that's real
happened?
talk.
Real talk, so I'm having this, I'm all up in my solid mind. And I'm having this conversation, and he said, get up. So I didn't hear get up, like get up, get back up in the bed, stand up, because I was already laying on the floor. So what I did was I just rose up on my elbows, right? So this happened December 22nd, 2015, a week before I took it to the world. So I raised up in plank position. So I'm a personal trainer, high performance trainer. So I knew about planking, all of that. So this is what I taught. So I rose up in planking. But what happened in that moment was like, it was all of a sudden, I got this evolution of energy around me, and my body instantly in 10 seconds started shaking. But there was movement, and I felt a little better. All of a sudden, I got this burst of energy. Like, oh my God. I got up the next day and I did it again. Better. 15 seconds. The next day I did it again. Each time I got up, I was looking for the shape, because I can say to you, if you're shaking while you planking, change is in the shape. So my body was changing.
Like
my mind was changing.
Change is in the shake. Ooh. Oh my goodness.
I just felt so good about it. So I tell anybody, especially now, for those of us that's home during this time, we live by ourselves, don't know what we're going to do. Get down and plank and rise up, because become your own nation of elevation, because that's what Plank Talk Nation is about. It's a nation of elevation where you can come to where we are rising up 1 minute at a time to be well. So if I had to give you a tip on something you can do from a physical standpoint, where you are in your home, if you got a body and you got a floor, get down and rise up, because that's going to change your mind and your body at the same time. See, because you cannot get your body tight if your mind ain't right. So when you're working on both of those things simultaneously,
I think we heard from the wellologist who said you can't get your body tight until you get your mind right. So let's do this. We have just a few seconds left. What would you say to our viewers and listeners? What kind of call to action and challenge in just a few words. I mean, because you have summed it up, you know, created your own nation of elevation. You can't get your mind,
So let
your
me
body
give you
tight, you
4.
can't get your mind right.
Okay.
So let me give you 4 where you can start, because like I said, the whole wellness platform is Move Well, right? So Move Well, you can plank. You can start with 10 seconds. Write that down. Everybody plank every single morning. I
Okay.
call it my daily habit. I pee, I pray, I plank. That's the triple P. Go pee, go pray, go plank. That's number 1. That's in the move, right? Number 2, if you're not drinking a lot of water, try to drink at least 5 to 10 sips of water every hour, especially while we're at this computer. Drink 5, just count 5 or 10 sips every hour. That'll help you get in the amount of water you need all day while you're working. So that's the hydrate well.
And I
The
have
sleep
one
well.
that has actually my times right here. I don't know if you can see that, those
Yes,
little dots. That's what that
I can
represents.
see it. Right. So in that, believe it or not, on that bottle was designed, 10 gulps will give you almost 8 ounces of water in an hour. So that's why they were designed with the time. So if you drink 10, like if you count 10, Linda, down, you'll see it go right down to the line as you take 10 gulps. So,
I'm
yeah.
going to do that.
So for sleeping, sleeping, go to bed. It ain't that simple. Go to bed. I mean, you're talking about I can't lose weight, I can't focus, I can't think. You need to start preparing to be in the bed by at least 10 o'clock, because between 10 and 2 is where your body recover the cells, where it shed new cells and you get, shed old cells and you get new. So you got your eat well. So the only thing is that choose one thing that you know, Linda, that you know, Carolyn, that you should not be eating. Get rid of it. Stop it now. You already know. I'm going to have to tell you. Get rid of it. And then add one thing on. Like, don't try to take everything away at one time. You're setting yourself up for failure. So if you start doing these little things, okay, so I'm going to eat something green every day at lunchtime. Not every meal, every day at lunchtime. You can do that. Do your plank. Drink 10 sips of water. Try to be in the bed by at least 10 p.m. at night. And that's a formula to really start your way into your wellness journey. And if you want to go one extra, listen, I'm the baddest outside body coach there is.
I know that's right. All right. No, that's fine. So you say move well, drink well, sleep well, eat well, and be well. Where can people find you? How can they find you? Because you've got clinics and boot camps and you've got an entire sexy fit and well movement. How do we reach you?
Oh my goodness. And you're working with women who are in, the wonderful years of hormonal changes where the battle is even stronger. And those who have been in different states of wellness to get them into a mindset that they can get better and they can get well.
Right. So for me as a wellologist, what I do is I teach women to be sexy, fit, and well through meals, movement, and mindset. So you need all 3 of those. You need the meals, you need the movement, you need the mindset. So that whole platform, that whole movement is about that. I can be reached at CandiceCamille.com, but across social media, I am at The Wellologist. Not only do we have Plank Talk Nation, we also have the whole Sexy Fit and Well movement. We have about maybe 7,000 women in it right now. So in Plank Talk Nation, the same thing. We have thousands of people planking all over the world. And then we have the mindset, which is the sister circle, where we sit down and as a certified emotional mastery coach, you allow me to go in to figure out what's stopping you and blocking you from being your best self as we go on the hunt for the person you have yet to become.
That's
what
right.
Is your website?
Certified emotional mastery coach.
Yes. I didn't even know there was such a thing. So thank you, Candice.
How about that?
Yes, our beautiful
actually
colleague,
Terry, NLP.
out of New York. Candice, please tell us how we get in touch with you. Can you repeat
So
your
just go to
website?
CandiceCamille.com. CandiceCamille.com. and also at the Wellologist, of course, all social media. I'm known
Okay.
all around the world as the Wellologist, so you can contact me there, inbox me on Facebook as Candace Camille. Stay in touch. I would like to connect with each and every one of you. And you can
Awesome.
also find out more information at sexyfitwellprograms.com.
Nice.
Sexy Fit Well.
Yeah,
Again,
that's right.
thank you. We will.
Thank
You
you.
will be a
Doing
regular
well.
thing
Yes.
as we stay
Thank
well in
you.
2021.
Thank you so very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Hey, thank you,
You're
Candace. Thank you
welcome.
so much. That was
All righty then. Bye,
that was
everybody. Thanks for having me.
that was
Bye.
fantastic, Candace. Thank you so
Great
much.
information.
By the way, I normally say Wednesday is Happy Wellness Day, so I just wanted to kind of share that. Yes.
Wellness Wednesday.
Happy Wellness Day.
Thank you. Have a good one, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Candace.
All right, ladies. So let's see here.
So Anthony, I have to say this, you're sexy, fit, and you look well. It must be that wonderful
take
off the-
weather in St. Croix.
What are you doing? You're making me blush on television here. What is that?
It must be in the water and the sun, Linda. Must
That's
be in
what
the
it
water
is.
and the
You
sun.
need some water and sun. That's what it is. And some
Well,
sand under our toes.
you guys look fabulous. So
Thank you.
likewise. So thank you so much for that. Well, like I said, today is special because every year we celebrate our carnival, our festival. Obviously, we can't do that this year. And so on today's show, on the second segment of the show, we're gonna Kalaloo, my media company, we were the first to bring live streaming of carnivals in the Virgin Islands, in Atlanta, Miami.
Oh wow.
And we were not the first in New York, but I'm going to rebroadcast when we hired celebrity host Janelle Bontier when she hosted the Kalaloo coverage of the parade. So if you can tune in and check out that piece on the second segment of the show. So thank you so much, guys. All right.
Cameron and Linda, I just want to say thank you for Camille. That was some great information, and she covered the gamut. So she talked about sleep, making sure that you get to sleep. She told you to eat the rainbow.
Yes, not brown. That's a good question.
Eat the rainbow. Wow.
Not white and beige foods.
Yeah. So that was really, she said, if it's white, stay away from it.
And you know, we've heard that before because it just turns to sugar, but you know, it just kind of, you just need to hear it over and over and over again.
Yes.
And that's where I think the word that resonated so much among all of what she said, which was top of mind, was literally the word practice. I need to put that particular P into practice.
That's right.
I need to practice the practice.
Right. She was awesome. You know, just her testimony alone, Anthony, when she was talking about having a stroke and, you know, just wanting to get up and just being on the floor and being in the floor and starting where she was. And I think that that's something that we should definitely continue to say to anyone that's listening. You know, you start where you are, right? You don't have to wait until you can run a mile, right? So she started from the floor, and then she went from the floor to the planks, and then she wanted to get to the bathroom, and then she worked her way to where she needed it to be. And I think that testimony alone, because I know a lot of people who have suffered through stroke who were not able to have that mental toughness to be able to get through it. And I think that testimony alone, especially it's a new year, right? So we want to start off right. And so that was a great segment to start off the new year. So
we know that we've had so much dialogue and so much conversation. And of course, we have the information from CDC and all other clinical advisors and experts around the impact, the long-term physical impact for some, by large, COVID, has caused individuals to have to retrain themselves around things like walking, sitting up, if they've experienced a stroke as a result, then they have to go into rehabilitation for that as a complication of COVID. Right. And just even learning how to adequately breathe on your own so that you can gather in as much oxygen to support your immune system as it's fighting off the residue. It's fascinating. So we hope that these tools and tips can be translated into that environment as well, but really serve as a motivator, because we know that we're in some daunting times right now. I mean, we don't know what the holiday Christmas will bring, but if it's any indication as to what happened as a result of our gathering and our large scale traveling from Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
and really just kind of relaxing from the process, getting into the holiday groove and getting more connected into family and small gatherings, then we know that there could be some significant surges beyond the surge that we're
Right.
experiencing right now. But I'm
And
hopeful.
they're talking about a new strain of it. Though it's not as fatal, it's more contagious. So yeah, it's not fatal, but it's more contagious. And so, just looking at even with my own family, I had a friend who was she had COVID in March and thought she had the antibodies, and ended up now she's back in hospital again. And so, but this was, this is it's far worse than she thought it was, So I'm just like anybody that's listening to us today, I'm just saying to you, be very careful. Even if you thought you had it and you can't get it again, I'm here to tell you that's not true. Because of her situation. And so, the breathing, wearing the mask, washing your hands, and making sure you're properly social distancing. And I think the main thing, and this is what I've heard from anyone that had it, it's the quarantine period, right? So it's an opportunity for you to pause, but what do you do in that pause? And I think that's what Camille's, message resonates well, right? A lot of people are not used to just being home for a 10-day, 14-day, 12-day period, right? So what do you do in your space when you're just in your space, in your self way, right? And so we're talking about, like you said, we're talking about breathing and meditating. We're talking about journaling, eating the rainbow, things like, things are more easily accessible now because you can do Amazon Fresh, or you can do Fresh Direct, or any of those other things to get food. And so making sure that you're continuing to eat properly as you're healing from the inside out. And then I would add music, because I think music heals all things, right? So, put on your favorite playlist while you're in the quarantine period. And so, I thank you guys for your wellness segment, because it touches close to home now for me too, right?
Yes.
So just making sure that we are focusing on our loved ones, we're checking in on them, and even if they're in quarantine, pick up the phone, do a Zoom call, have a bingo night, have a karaoke night on Zoom, making sure that we're staying connected to our loved ones during this period, because I think that is the hardest thing. Not just adhering to the rules, but being in quarantine. We're social people too, right? We talk about children being social and emotional. We are as well. And so when someone has to quarantine for that long period of time, we have to make sure that they're still connected. And so that's that's an addition.
And create achievements for yourself.
Unfortunately, we have literally 10 minutes in this segment. And that segment, what I had planned for that segment now kind of goes out the window.
Oh my goodness gracious.
We're sorry. We apologize, Anthony.
We're sorry, Mr.
I can always make it up on the second. I can make it up on the second segment, but it means I have to do some reshuffling here. So, all right. But thank you so much, ladies, for that. All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right. Take care, guys. And Happy New Year.
Okay, great. All right. So what we're going to do, let's take a quick break with the business segment intro, and we'll be right back.
All right. Awesome.
Small business is a part of all of us each and every day. It's where we eat, it's where we shop, it's where we go to meet our friends and colleagues. In the wake of COVID-19, our small business community desperately needs our help. We must do our part to help our local communities to once again thrive. We must focus our attention on the small businesses that are the fabric of our great nation. SureUp is a network of small business owners, their employees, and local consumers all working in unison to support each other. By creating incentives for consumers to think local before considering regional and national providers to fulfill their needs, we create local job opportunities and rebuild our communities. In addition, through AI-driven tools and machine learning, in just 5 minutes a day, SureUp assists business owners in improving their social media presence, which enhances their visibility among consumers and levels the playing field so that local businesses can better compete with large, name-brand online competitors. When local businesses leverage the SureUp platform, Full-time and part-time employees, whether W-2 or 1099, are rewarded with a variety of voluntary perks and member benefit options. These include discounts on the things people do every day, access to low-cost, subscription-based telehealth and teletherapy, discounted prescription drug plans, connection to exclusive Prosper resources, and so much more. All for less than the cost of a cup of coffee each day. The JumpStart Marketplace is here to support the health and wellness of individual employees, as well as the health of businesses in the local communities in which we live and work. We're all in this together, so join us as we reinvigorate our local community and improve the physical and financial health of working America.
All right, folks, we are back, and thank you so much for tuning into JumpStart TV. This is the Marketplace Reset. I'm Anthony Weeks, and also my colleague, co-host Terry Coxon. Hope you're having a wonderful 2021 start, and all is well, all is safe. And we are celebrating Three Kings Day. We normally celebrate with a big carnival festival, but unfortunately, we can't do that with this pandemic. Also, I'd like to be able to acknowledge the fact that Congress passed the recent $900 billion Stimulus Care Act, and there is funding, if you will, replenishment of funding for small businesses under the Payroll Protection Program Act. And so on today's show, what I want to do is we're going to close out this segment in a little bit, but we're going to continue in the second segment, sharing some of that with you, as well as we're going to share with you one of the original footage of Callaloo Network coverage and taping of the parades, the Crucian Christmas Festival Parade as well. So Terry, I hope all is well. How are you? And let's if we can, if you don't mind, let's jump right in to the small business piece. You were the former SBA advocate for New York, New Jersey, in the tri-state area, as well as the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. And obviously, you know, the fact that we're now seeing a second tranche of funding to help small businesses. What's your take on that?
So first of all, I'm happy about the fact that there will be some more cash for small businesses, because small businesses are really struggling at this point. And in the instance of the Payroll Protection Program, I call it the P3 program. So small businesses will be able, even if you are a solo business, if you are the only one in your business and you are taking payroll from your business, then you're able to apply for the Payroll Protection Program. The process has been streamlined. If they're continuing on with the process that they had before, it's a one-pager basically, and then there's some, a couple other sheets that gives you guidance on how to fill out that one-pager. It's not a heavy lift at all. You're able to put in your numbers. The one thing that I will say to small businesses is that you have to, and you should have some kind of payroll entity involved, because it makes your life a lot easier. For me and my business, I use Paychex. There's tons of other ones out there, but what they're able to do is they'll calculate every pay period how much money you're paying yourself. So at the end of it, it's forgiven. So, up to 75% is forgiven if you're using it for payroll. And so what I encourage you to do from the beginning is keep your paperwork in order. So at the end of it, when you're looking at your numbers, you'll be able to, whichever institution you use. So you can apply through the program through a traditional bank, but there's also some other companies out there like Blue Vine and others that you can apply through for their payroll protection program. And the amount of money that you'll get is going to be based on the SBA numbers. They'll actually calculate based on the numbers that you put in, they'll calculate how much money that you'll be able to get. And it's a significant amount of money to kind of reinvest back into your business so that you're able to stay open. So I encourage you to look into that. They're working out the language right now with how the program will work. But if it's any indication of the last set of monies that was out, it's a much easier process than it was before.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to end the first segment with at least one of the piece from the SBA, and we're going to have to continue next week because there's a lot of content from the SBA that I wanted to share. Right. And I don't want that to spill over because we're not going to be able to do the other content as well for the second segment. So let's exit with this, at least this first piece from the SBA, sharing that information while they're trying to put together the program for the second tranche of funding.
Right, and SBA.
My name is Jeff Foster. I'm the CEO and president of Core Technology Molding Corporation.
I'm Patrick Eakes, and I'm the president of CP Eakes Company.
I am Ramona Woods, and I am the founder and CFO of Ashtay Products.
I'm Michael Woods. I am founder and CIO, that's Chief Influencing Officer.
And I'm Taylor Woods, and I am the CEO of Ashtay.
Greg Frisbee, CEO of Sensor Analytics, Greensboro, North Carolina, developer of advanced measurement systems. We're a technology business, very fast growing, that bring new measurement technologies to well-established global businesses.
We're a plastic injection molding solutions provider. We compete in the automotive, medical device, aerospace. We do some outdoor lawn equipment, consumer goods, and biological pharmaceutical products. We have a continuous operation as well as a clean room operation for plastic medical devices and assemblies.
We make high-end, custom, made-to-order metal goods.
Ashtay Products was created to serve the multicultural market. As you can see, it was created by an African-American male and a Dominican woman to cater to what we call global texture hair.
So when the COVID-19 pandemic hit, it impacted our business, more so our customers. So several of our customers shut down for a month. The weekend crew, we had to let them go on a furlough for an entire month.
Within 2 weeks, we had multiple clients who immediately told us, not asked, but told us that they were going to extend payment terms to us. And then our largest order of the year was placed on hold just 3 days before we were slated to start work.
So when COVID began to really run rampant, we were in a transition on top of an unprecedented transition.
It was awakening one day when the customers didn't want us to come. They were delaying orders and we didn't know what to do. So we naturally, preventatively took down our workforce, laid them off, furloughed them, told them we'd be back as soon as we could get something going.
And we applied early in the first round of funding and had approval in what I thought was a pretty quick turnaround.
The PPP loan helped us expedite the process of bringing our weekend employees back quickly, so they were only out for a month.
The SBA, in their foresight, launched the PPP program, and that turned the place around. Allowed us to save all those jobs, bring back the people we needed, and now we're surging even stronger than before.
The PPP has certainly helped stabilize this company.
The PPP loan helped us in a way where we did not have to sacrifice our personal savings. We had already made a decision that we were going to keep the staff on.
The PPP coming in was a huge relief.